Hello, all you positive heads. Welcome to a very special episode dedicated to none other than you, the PHeads themselves. I am your PHead enthusiast and hostess for the day, Alexa Hauser. I have been blessed to have the experience of helping out with Positive Head social media for the better part of a year. And through my digital interactions, I began to realize, as did Brandon, that we have some incredible beings listening to the show who are taking the information that Brandon puts out through the podcast and using it to transform their lives and create wonderful things. You listeners are all a huge, huge part of the life force that propels this show forward through time and space, and we think it's time to bring forth some of you beautiful reflections and delve a little deeper into this collection of energy that is the Positive Head community. So as we shine the spotlight on our listeners, what we'll have them do is share their stories of how they attracted Positive Head into their life, the transformation it's facilitated for them, and what they're focused on creating now that they're in a more positive headspace. Also, this episode of the Positive Head podcast is being brought to you thanks to the support of Gaia. If you're not familiar, Gaia is the go-to source for streaming consciousness content online. And you can sign up for your first month for only 99 cents at gaia.com/positivehead. That's spelled GAIA.com/positivehead. Check it out. Hello, all you positive heads. On this week's PHead Posse episode, our guest is Positive Head listener Kylie Lilac Moon. Kylie is an intuitive card reader, psychic healer, and most importantly, a multidimensional being having a human experience. Hi, Kylie. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Alexa. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, so excited to have you here. It's funny because you and I connected a little bit offline last month. And then Brandon actually stepped in and was like, hey, this girl, I think she should be on PHead Posse. And it's cool. It's cool when those things line up. I was like, yeah, I was actually just talking to her. So I'm so happy that this all lined up, and so happy that you're here. And would love it if, just to start off, we could get into, what your background has been like what your story and your journey has been like up until this point.
Yeah. So I had been having a slow unfolding, like the ever unfolding rose of a journey. And it feels like my whole life. I recently am going through some life changes, and I've really gone through all of my stuff, even from childhood, and just started seeing all these little trinkets and treasures that really align with where I am now. So yeah, I was in a car accident in January 2018. And before that, I was working at a job that was so unaligned with everything. I would cry every Sunday. I was so depressed and so anxious about it. And I couldn't quit my job without a job lined up. Who does that? What's going to happen? And was in the car accident and then ended up stepping down. And ever since then, it's been a slow unfolding, magical synchronicity after magical synchronicity. And then, fast forward to about a couple weeks, about a month and a half ago, I started to have a really accelerated spiritual awakening journey.
Cool. And what was your life like before all of this? I mean, were you spiritual growing up? Was that something that you were into?
So I was really more Christian background. And I've heard Brandon talk about kind of his background in this too. And I felt a connection there. But yeah, I've always been one to really see the good in everybody, and started to be open to different religions and think well, they're acting out of love. How could that be wrong? And just started slowly opening my heart and getting rid of any judgments or expectations, and just lovingly accepting different people and different views, and knowing that I don't need to have my own opinion about any of it. I can just live my life in line with my heart and my highest love, and see the good of everybody.
Love that. Okay, so so recently you had an accelerated spiritual awakening, and what has that been like?
So I'm going through some big life changes, and in the midst of all of it happening, I've always been very intuitive, but my psychic gifts and my gifts being a channel, an ET channel, really cracked open. Like, it was all these little breadcrumbs, and then this huge experience where I was about 3 weeks or a month ago, I felt really drawn to have a psychic reading with Ambi. And I just felt in my heart, yes, Inner Bloom. I felt in my heart that it would be really aligned for me to do this. And I had a couple of questions to ask, didn't know like where we were headed. And like, we're getting into all this stuff, and she's telling me all this stuff, and like my heart is like racing and like feeling like, yes, like this is like aligned. Like, these are the choices that will really like accelerate like my heart to be open and to not have secrets from my heart. So the next day I got a plane ticket and I flew to Maui. Before that, I had bought this tiny camper home, and my plan was to travel around the US because I was born and raised in Ohio, and I really wanted to learn. I really wanted to figure out, where do I want to live? I was born here. I haven't traveled that much. Like, let me go around the country and see where I want to live. But it was like, the more I was saying yes to my heart, the more it was saying, just go straight to Maui, go straight to Maui. I had a couple little connections there. So on this whole journey to Maui, this channel opened for this multidimensional ET collective called the Council of Light. And they were really aiding in all of this and like keeping me grounded, but then also keeping this channel open because I was receiving just a mass amount of downloads and just anchoring the light and that love and just really anchoring it in. And it was this time where, you're waiting for flight. So it's just a time of being able to be really still and really present and really explore all of this. So I go to Maui, and there's a sound temple. And I realize it's on 4/7, April 7th. And one of my, I'm calling her, the way shower, she's kind of like a spiritual midwife to me. Her like magic number is 47. And I didn't realize the 4/7 till like after. But I was like, okay, it's Sunday. I know I'm supposed to be here. Like, where's the magic? I'm sitting at the airport, like, where am I going now? And it was like to this church to do the sound temple. So it was the first time I've ever been in a sound bath, and it was just like this magical experience. And the funny thing is the woman who did the sound temple had these flower arrangements, and I was smelling them, realizing Saturday morning I was at Lowe's. I was looking at the plants, and all of a sudden I smelled these floral flowers, and I look around and there's no flowers. And I'm like, oh, that's really interesting. I'll just put that in my back pocket. So I started to smell the future, like smell different scents of the future, which has happened. There's a lot of synchronicities around that. So yeah, so this channel's opening. I'm communicating with these beings and knowing that it's so totally like aligned for me to go to Maui to have these experiences and be able to realize I chose Ohio before I was born. Like, I chose Ohio, like in the beginning of it all. And I really feel like Maui is the place, of Lemuria. It's the place of Mu. It's the place of these ancient civilizations. And I've always kind of felt a draw to them. So I feel like Maui called me home and helped me uncover all the secrets in my heart. So I have no secrets between me and my heart and why I chose to be here and like what my gifts are. And yeah, it was just like this beautiful like unfolding for me to bring all of this high flow, high energy back to teach the slow, the ease, the grace, and the ebb, because that's really where the magic is having our flow, having our energy move from a place of ease and grace instead of a place of tense friction, which I lived most of my life in. So, it felt in my body scary to just up and go to Maui without really like knowing exactly why, but knowing that my soul was like so aligned. Like I was seeing this every single synchronistic number, and every time somebody said that this was their lucky number, I was seeing all of it. Like I was seeing like noticing gold everywhere and stars and all of these things to really learn like I chose the heart of the nation in my Lumeria, you know, before I was even on Lumeria. Like I chose this time, this now, to really remember and uncover all this, and to teach other people that you might be remembering your past too, or you might be seeing your future, but the magic is integrating all of these aspects of ourselves now and being present now and grounding them in the way that feels best to you now. So for me, it's nature, music, painting, and I'm by Lake Erie, so I've been looking for sea glass and just spending time on the beach. So yeah.
Amazing. And yeah, what are some, I mean, I guess you just gave us some ways right there to integrate, but what's some advice you have? Or actually, real quick, going back to, what did you call it? The Council of Love?
The Council of Light.
Light. Council of Love and Light. Same thing. Council of Light.
Yeah.
So what are some things that come through from this Council of Light? Like, what are some things that you receive from them?
I want to talk about this for a second. I realized I didn't say this. A week or two before all this happened, I was going to sleep, going to bed like normal. Like was not meditating or anything, but I had a spontaneous out of body like experience where I was in heaven. I was floating in the angelic realms. I was dead. But I felt the peace. Like I didn't know anything else because I was in heaven. Like you don't have the density there. And then I was just floating, and I just remember like memories of buying my camper were like floating away, like memories of my puppy, like all this stuff just kind of was like leaving me because I was like in full connection to God. And then I started hearing this voice saying, she didn't die. She chose life. And it was almost like they're pulling me like a string, like back into my body. And I come back and I'm like, oh, okay, what is this? And they're like, this is, you kill yourself. You would kill yourself in 6 months if you close your heart. So I believe having all these not integrated experiences, these multidimensional rememberings and future and these different beings, collectives, like coming to me, and it's all been out of love. I believe had I closed my heart and stayed scared, that would drive me, you know, to like insanity. So, I had that experience. And I also do have an Arturian guide who has been with me like since my channel really opened. And so he was really there just telling me like, this is real. Like you are safe and you are supported. Like these are the messages that I was getting through before I even met the Council of Light, like through this near-death experience. Like you are safe and you are supported. And like, this is real. Like just as real as anything that we could touch, this realm is also real. And we have the choice whether we're going to be scared of it, or we have the choice of whether we're going to open our hearts to God in love and to find the magic, to find what is in the highest alignment for everybody involved in every like now moment. So yeah, the messages I receive, like I actually made a YouTube account. So I did my first like full like channel. Like I was in the channel doing like the video, but a lot of them will be like in meditation, or I'll write them down later and then really share like the essence of the message. But it is about presence. It's about sharing our love, being present now. And if you're having these experiences, know that you're not alone. Know that you're not crazy. Know that it's a loving and wild world out there. And when we're opening our hearts to the universe, like there's just magic everywhere.
Definitely. And I really resonate with the message of like, first of all, presence, and second of all, opening your heart. You know, I think I personally have been waking up to just seeing how closed I've been my whole life, like how in contraction I've been kind of, you know, like, putting up walls and putting up, you know, just finding reasons to leave situations as opposed to actually like see what's there, you know. If something gets scary, and my tendency in the past has been to be like, bye, closed, see you later. And so, you know, now really is this amazing, you mentioned like the magic in it all, right? And it really is, it's like the second that you decide to change that pattern to when you want to close, to actually stay open. When you want to run, to actually like stay, or you know what I mean, to face something versus just like run away because you think it's like a monster.
Yes. That reminds me too of, okay, rewind like 10 years ago when I was in college. I was in a different state, living in a dorm room, and my roommate she wasn't there that night. And I slept, and I had this dream I was on a spaceship, and this baby is crying. And I know that it's not my baby, but I'm like running around trying to find it, but I don't see anybody. And then I hear this voice saying, "You will wake up in 3, 2, 1." And like my eyes like wide. I woke up because I could feel that it was real. And I had actually been sketching, like every time I would sketch, like I would like to go up and like just draw the skyline. I would sketch alien spaceships, and I just didn't know why. It was just something fun that I was doing.
Yeah.
Well, I believe that was like my Arcturian guy, like trying to lovingly get my attention. And I believe that I felt the presence of them down there because like there was a worry about me, like, because I wasn't in good mental health. Like I was struggling a lot, and, you know, I could have made like different choices that I wouldn't be here, like where I am now. But it's funny because, yeah, now like fast forward, like it's the same voice and the same presence. Whereas 10 years ago, I was so afraid of it. I didn't know what it was. I thought it was like a nightmare. Now I realize, with my heart open, my shoulders relaxed, my body, like really being in my body, that it was like out of love. And it was just out of a care, and it was out of just like a provision and like a check-in, you know?
Totally.
So
It's all like
one example of the same experience, but on two different ends of it at two different linear times in this lifetime.
Yeah, because like you're creating how you experience you're creating your perception of everything. So it's like when you're in a state of fear, then even something trying to help you is going to seem scary, you know?
Yes.
And when you're in a state of trust, then you're way more open to receive and explore like, oh, what's this? Like, and feel what's really there. And I think that is like the state that we're in right now. It's like this opening up to, and this opening up, this trusting more, and this accepting, not only that, but just accepting that like the universe wants to support us, right? Because we are the universe. Yeah. It's not just like, oh, you did good. So it's like, no, like we're all like, it goes to the idea of oneness, right? And so when we really understand that we are one, it's like, there's nothing that you can fail at. There's nothing that you can, like, you can't, when you understand we're all one, that's when you open up and allow the universe to support you with all of its infinite energy, because you actually understand that we're all working together, versus like what this idea that we've been told of like, oh, you're on your own, kid, and like, you know, it's a cruel world out there and all that.
Yeah. And it really is what you make of it, like your perception. And I do want to like also kind of reiterate too, like not every single energy is going to be from the highest love. So to somebody who's listening and they might be starting to have these experiences or have these feelings, like if you feel something's there, ask it. Like, who are you? What are you? Are you here for the highest good of all involved? And if not, then they don't have to be in your space. You can, you know, tell it to leave, and that's what's going to happen. So I've had some of those experiences also, to know, like, ask everything, like, what is it? And if it's for the highest good of all involved, like, what's the magic in this? Let's see, you know, see what the magic is. And I think we feel that with people. I know, you know, when you interact with people, you can really feel like they have a manipulativeness about them. Like, and if you choose to engage with that, then, you know, things might become manipulated. But if you're choosing to engage with people where you can tell it's just loving and supportive, like, I love how you're talking about the oneness. Like, so much of my life is like, you know, get the job, like the money, like no one's going to do anything for you. But yeah, we're all connected. Like we're all the fractals of source, and like the meaning and the true like vibrancy of life happens in that vibration and that soul level. And then everything else is reflected of that. Totally.
And it's, I was just thinking, you were talking about like it can happen with people too. And that's what our Arcturian guide on our podcast says about, like we were just talking about that the other day about different entities and like how someone was asking, like, is it possible that an entity can be contacting you and it's not, it's a low vibrational entity. And the way they were explaining it is like, well, yeah, I mean, there's low vibrational people. Like, of course, it's the same way. It's the same thing. So it's not something, again, it's not to be like, oh no, it's a demon or like something, it's just think of it more the way, like in life, there's high and low and positive and negative. And, so it's just that reminder to be discerning of everything in your life, like be discerning, put up boundaries where you need to. And I think that's a huge theme too right now, right?
Yeah,
boundaries.
I think so. I had no boundaries with anybody, including myself. Yeah. And like one of the first lessons I learned like in Hawaii, it was like about boundaries. Because you think you're doing your boundaries okay. And then you realize, no, like I'm just letting anybody walk all over me and I'm just letting anybody in whenever they want to. But it's okay for me to set time to channel, set time to ground, set time to see my friends and family, set time to journal and really create the space and container for these things. And I think too, sometimes you plan certain things and if the energy is not there, there's a boundary that you can not go to the thing or, not do the thing if you're not feeling it then too. And I think there has been such a lack of permission for us to do that. And most of the time when I cancel plans or the other person does, we're both like, oh, thank goodness, I wasn't really feeling like leaving the house today. Like it's kind of like this like mutual like relief of we both needed quiet time.
Yeah. Definitely. I think that goes to the, the people pleaser tendency again. We're like really struggling.
That was me.
Oh yeah. Same.
100%
I mean,
was, yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's what's happened. I think that the people pleaser is dying right now. It's like our kind of inner rebellion, or I don't know. I don't want to make it sound negative, but it's just like we're challenging that people pleaser archetype of like that, that role that we believe that we have to play to please, where everyone's trying to please everyone else and meanwhile getting extremely frustrated and angry at everyone else because they're pleasing everyone else and not themselves, right?
I think it has to do with this is something like my guides have really told me of like if you grow up in like standard like Western culture, like you grow up, you like go to school, preschool, like kindergarten, like you go to school, ask your teachers for help, ask your parents for help, ask the principal for help, ask your friends for help. But like, when do we start learning to ask us for ask yourself for help, ask your heart? Because we have all the answers inside. And so I was like in states like my whole life of looking to everybody else for the answers. And when you're looking for everybody else for the answers, like you find answers. Like it might not be in alignment. And for me, a lot of the things were not in alignment. But then when I started to really spend time with myself and really like, create a solid like meditation and like stretching and morning practice and really create that time for me to say like what's here for me today, like what answers do I have within today, like what energy is in there, like, and it's all coming from me and in connection to my highest self. So I think that's too like when we're looking to everybody else for the answers, we're going to try and please everybody else and ask them, did we do this okay, did we do that okay, like what can I do for you? But the true magic and the true service comes out of, okay, these are my gifts. Like, this is what I feel strongly about doing. This is how I can help. And I'm full in my groundedness. I'm full in my love. I'm full in my connection to God. Now, like, where's the magic for me to serve? And I think that's something that we've lacked in our service to other people first, but we need to nourish ourselves first and then serve out of the overflow.
Definitely. It's funny because like John, our guide, Arcturian guide, is talking about God, I just lost it. It just went right out of my head. I guess I'm not supposed to share this, so forget that. we'll just end with that topic on that note because you said it.
Yeah. Something similar.
Yeah, probably. So Awesome. Well, and what are you working on now, Kylie? Like you said, you're card reader.
Yeah, I really have a passion like for visual arts, and I've always been a person to like love cards and multiples. Like I used to make ceramics, and I just really enjoy tarot. Like I love the pictures, and I enjoy oracle cards too. I love the pictures, the storytelling, like being able to really like feel into a moment and have like visual representations to like decipher. And also how like one card, the magic of a certain card one day will be different from it for another day, or depending on the person like you're reading for. So I offer tarot readings and oracle readings. And then as I've been exploring my psychic gifts too, I offer psychic readings also. So I'm working on that and on my website. And then I also have a Patreon group I'm starting where it's about tarot and oracle readings and teachings. So we'll do a Tarot Tuesday where we'll be talking about a card every week, and then having the people in the group say what their meaning to the card is, and really talk about like intuitive living and how, you know, like there's a part of me that was like, why are you into tarot? Like, what's even the point of this? And then as I'm like spending more time with my heart and soul, it's like this is totally like a line for me to pursue and just to love and accept and embrace it. Like I know that you are an EFT practitioner, and so it's like one of those like you wish that you could serve in a way that somebody else does, but then like my soul has just really made it clear like tarot is like a beautiful way for you to connect and reflect and to really help others like heal themselves. Yeah. So it's something I kind of was running from, but now it's something I'm really like embracing, and I love it as a personal practice, and like I love when I get to connect with other people and in readings.
That's awesome.
So yeah, KylieLilacMoon.com has more information about that. And then Instagram, Kylie Lilac Moon, I share just the bits and bobs, the multidimensional, the like reading tarot 1 second, the hiking with my dog the next second. I have a live series called, I bought my truck and my travel trailer, and I just really, really like my truck. So I do IGTV lives called Talks in the Truck. So it's just whatever message I feel like is coming through, just really like casual talk with Avery. Avery is my puppy.
So cute. I love that.
So those are a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll definitely put those links in the show notes as well so people can follow along. And that's great. I love that. And I love what you're talking about like, you know, for you, tarot is like your tool. Like it's like what feels best to you. It's what feels most aligned. And for me, it's like I love tarot, but like and I have a bunch of decks, but like every time it's so funny. Sometimes I'll like freak myself out when I read myself, or I'll like sometimes it'll make me get in my head more. And that's and that's just because like it's not my like I love them. I love like getting readings and all that. It's just, but like you said, for me, it's like other modalities and other things feel like more in alignment for me. They feel like they're, and it just goes to show it's like we're all so unique, you know, we're all so unique in the way we process information, in the way we receive information, in the way our brains work, you know, and it's like, so and also like we're constantly evolving and changing, you know, so like we might be into something 1 minute and then the next we gravitate really towards something else that we thought we wouldn't be into. So
yeah, totally. I just get the picture of like looking up at the starry sky, like it's all the universe, but we are all different stars and different sizes and different flavors and different colors. And like same with all of our gifts, like as long as we're operating from a place of love and our highest good, like we're going to attract the people that are drawn to our gifts, and we're going to be able to serve in that way. And there's so many ways to connect, and just to like lovingly accept like everyone. Like you might not be into what somebody else is doing, but like that's cool. You don't have to have an opinion about it. You can just wish them the best, and you know, like think about them in a loving and accepting way, and then like do what you're doing. Yeah.
Exactly. Even people that aren't, and I think this is one of the biggest lessons for all of us to learn that I think this group in particular probably has some challenges with, is like even the people that aren't into spirituality, like the people that there are a lot of people that don't know anything about quote unquote spirituality. Like they're not in these groups, they, you know, but they're living a good life. Like there's some people they're happy, right? For the most part. Yeah. And I feel like a lot of us or at least I'll speak for myself. I know I went through a big period of this where thinking like everyone in my life had to be so into this. And if they weren't, then they weren't going to be as happy as they could be. And da-da-da-da-da. And realizing like some people just aren't meant, like some people are not going to be like fully awake in this lifetime, but that doesn't mean they're not going to live a good life. Like they're doing it their own way they're probably meditating and receiving information in different ways that we just don't think of as that. Like maybe someone goes on a walk a lot and like they get a lot of good information that way. They just don't call it that, And so
I struggled with going through all this like multidimensional integration of like remembering past lives, like as a Lemurian priestess, and like I know I have like Native American past lives, and I feel like I've been dolphin and stingray. There's this like sense of in our world we want to label everything. You got a textbook, you got your everything labeled out and defined, but like as multidimensional, like infinite beings like that, we are connected to God. Like we're not going to have labels for everything. And so like when I was living in like fear and really like structured, like rigid, like spirituality, like I found a lot of peace there. And like a lot of people find so much peace and they live so connected, and it's all going to look different, like we're all on different parts of our journey. So I think that's so important to like, whether we're like, I didn't want to label anything that I was doing. Like I do want to write a poetry book and with pictures from all around Ohio, nature pictures, called Discovering Ohio. And I was like, that's what I want to do. Like, just work on discovering Ohio. Like, I don't need to label anything. Like, yeah, I'm a channel. Yeah, I'm a psychic. But like, let's just not do that. But then like, the more I'm leaning into my heart, it's like the people that I meant to serve, like need to know like that these are my intuitive gifts. And like, I feel like this word, like way shower to the star seeds, like, when we're souls that have lived lifetimes on other planets, like there is definitely like, I think a deep unspoken like connection there. And there's also like so many souls that have, only lived on Earth, and they ground in so many different ways, but they're still raising the vibration. Like as long as we're operating out of that love and out of that connection to God, to source, to the universe in the way that feels best to us, like we're raising the vibration, like we're living out our soul purpose. And I think that's really important, because I wanted to run away from the labels also, but then through like the meditation and through spending time with the Council of Light, they made it clear, like, these are the things that people, the right people, like will be drawn to learning about, because they're also going to realize that they have these gifts too. And like, I want to teach people like how to connect on their own and how to ground these things. So that's like a huge,
totally,
just seeing
love
like
that.
Seeing the good in everybody, because everybody's got it. And like, if you're looking for the bad, they're going to exasperate the bad. But if you're looking for the good, they're going to bring out the good.
Gosh, I was just realizing this weekend and I feel like this comes up quite a bit with like our families or our partners or something. Cause it's like, it's kind of become the thing. It's like you nag like your partner, you nag your family, whatever. It's like, you're kind of used to like poking at each other a little bit. You know what I mean? And sometimes it can be fun. Like sometimes it's just fun and playful, but sometimes it can just be a habit that isn't very helpful. Like it's not constructive. It's destructive. And I've been, and it seems so innocent. It seems so, it can be labeled as so innocent, but I've just been coming to this realization because I can feel it in my heart. I feel it. I'm like, it doesn't feel good. It's on the surface, it's supposedly innocent and playful, but it doesn't feel uplifting. It feels like I can actually feel that I'm being destructive in this relationship right now. And I think, it's so easy just to emphasize that again. It's just so easy to kind of get into this playful habit of like tearing each other down and calling it a joke. But really it's like we can flip that on its head and mindfully emphasize what people are doing right. Like emphasize what your partner is doing right. Emphasize what your mom is doing right. Emphasize that. Emphasize what your employee is doing right. And actually like then you're feeding that part, you're feeding that and you're growing that as opposed to feeding the other side that you don't want to see,
I'm just like getting full body like chills right now as we're talking about this, because like I was a person who like I was always, people would think I would be like naive or like too innocent or like goody two shoes or whatever, but I just developed a callousness and like a closed offness and a cynicism, like sarcasm. And like, past friendships and past relationships, there was just this foundation of like a sarcastic sense of humor. And like, that was what I was lining up with then. Like, and like only finding love in like certain ways. But then like, even the past year since the car accident, like all this stuff, I just realized like, I don't want to joke that way. Like, this doesn't feel good. Like, it might seem innocent, but it's like making my heart feel like yucky. And I don't want to put that in anymore. Like exactly what you were saying, like, just being mindful of like, oh, okay, no, this doesn't have a good flavor. Like, let me switch it to be a more positive, like joke even.
Yeah. Being just
instead
more
of
sensitive.
Like sarcastic.
Yeah. Being more sensitive to the way things feel. I think Abraham Hicks talks about this a lot.
Yeah.
They're like, you can feel it. And for me recently, I've been feeling like so kind of like that what feels best to me is just to feel confident and like you're saying, like tune way into myself instead of asking outside of myself. And I've had moments where it's like, maybe you should ask this person this or that. I have a lot of intuitive friends and a lot of, and there's been moments I was like, maybe you should ask. And then I can feel my vibration goes down immediately. The second it's like, maybe you should ask. Like, it's like, no, like, it feels best to stay here and just trust.
And like, there might be a time when you would talk about this with them event, like at a later time, but like, that's where the magic is. Like the magic is what's here in this moment. Like, where's the magic with my soul? And like, trusting that in your own intuitive answers, knowing that could blossom a whole nother like magical trail that you don't even know about.
Yes. I love how you just keep saying, where's the magic? Where's the magic? I love that. It's like, and
the song of my heart right now is like, dropping in like, where's the magic?
Where's the magic?
What are we optimizing? What are we creating?
Yes, I love it. Kylie, I have loved this conversation with you. And I just want to tell you also, like, your energy is so sweet and calming and just, it's making me feel very, it's so grounded, but also like you're saying, like very magical. And, I just, I think I feel blessed to be in your presence today. And I think that you're going to, and I think that you're going to do you're already doing amazing work and making amazing strides in your own life. And I think you're going to help a lot of people just by being in their presence, if that makes any sense. So thank you so much.
Thank you for telling me. Oh my gosh. Course. I feel the same way about our conversation. And awesome. I'm smiling so big. Like I don't have any words right now. The viewers just, like I can't stop smiling. I just feel like the love and just the gratitude for this community and this podcast and the future show and everything.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Thank you for coming on here and sharing your wisdom and sharing your story. And we love you so much. And just drop your website one more time for people who want to get in touch with you.
KylieLilacMoon.com. So I have all the information there. Links to Instagram and Patreon are there too.
Perfect. Kylie, thank you so much and have a beautiful day.
You as well. Thank you.
That's it for this week's episode. If you're a listener with a story to share and are interested in being featured on a future episode of this special series, you can email me at alexa@positivehead.com. Also, if you're craving more consciousness elevating content, be sure to check out Gaia, which is the go-to source for streaming consciousness content on the web, where you can stream an incredible 7,000 plus exclusive videos covering 5,000 years of wisdom. As you all hear Brandon constantly say, it's a daily conscious effort to maintain an elevated vibration. And if you're looking to journey deep down the rabbit hole to do so, then Gaia is the best place we know of to do it. Period. And you can sign up for your first month for only 99 cents at gaia.com/positivehead. That's spelled GAIA.com/positivehead. Check it out. Otherwise, tune in next Friday for another HeAd Posse episode. And until then, as Brandon always says, journey well.